All right. We are going to get started. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to Instagram today with your boy Stevie D going live. We'll get started in just a second. I'll give it like 30, 45 seconds. And we'll start taking some questions. It's Friday. It's raining in Houston. The sun was out earlier today, but the rain started to get to me. Thought I was going to have to cancel because the power was going on and off. But here we are, 7 p.m., Houston, Texas, Friday night. Live Q&A with Stevie D. So we'll go ahead and jump into this live. I'm going to start taking some questions. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat. And I'll start answering whatever questions that you guys have for today. But we got a few people on. So while we're waiting on some questions, I will just kind of like go through some of my favorite pictures that I've shot in the last couple of months. I know because of COVID, I haven't been able to shoot as much as I wanted to. I haven't been able to take a lot of clients, and it's just been tough. So I was going back through my portfolio. I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I really like to shoot, and some of the stuff that I do shoot. Hopefully, I start taking bookings again mid-June here in Houston. Then I'll start traveling once things start to get a little better out there. Yeah, man, these some pretty good images. So I wanted to do a live just to kind of like talk to you guys. I haven't posted anything in a while. I've primarily been just, chilling with my family, taking it easy. I did get sick for a little bit, but I'm cool. So I wanted to come on live and just, talk photography stuff with anybody who, wanted to talk about it. What's up, Carlos? Appreciate it. What up, Lo? If y'all got any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and then I'll start answering them. Yeah, so these are some of the images. I do beauty and fashion work, primarily in Houston, Texas, and I do travel as well. I'm starting to get into more product stuff, so if you want product stuff done, hit me up. My email is down at the bottom. You guys know where to find me. I want some questions. Somebody send me a question. I know y'all got some questions. See what's going on with some questions. Hey, Lovey. I know y'all not about to get shy on me on a Friday night where y'all don't want to ask no questions. All right, since y'all don't want to ask no questions, I'm going to talk to you guys about a company that I founded with two of my other good friends, my brothers. It's called the Midnight Club. We are a digital media content creation company. And right now we are launching some merch. So if you guys want to log on to midnightclubmerch.com and purchase some merch, kind of support the movement for the Midnight Club. And, cop a t-shirt, get you a mask, all that good stuff. Get you a dad hat. I'm always rocking a dad hat. Got the mugs, all that good stuff. So midnightclubmerch.com, y'all check that out and support your boy. I'll talk more about Midnight Club later on another time, but I wanted y'all to check that out. All right, so we got a good question from my man Carlos. He said, how do you suggest bringing in paying clients? All right, so Carlos, that's a very good question. I think you just really have to get yourself out there, and I know people get tired of hearing that, but you really do need to go out and meet clients, the clients that you want. You have to go to the events, you have to go to their functions. I'm not big on going to events, so I do miss out a lot. You also have to use advertising to your advantage. Use social media to your advantage. Put ads out on social media platforms. It's not cheap, but it does work well. Send out, postcards to, you know, the companies that you want to potentially get. Let them see your work. The main thing is getting visibility in front of those clients that you want to get, and let them see what you can do. All right, so we got another question from Lois. Says, what are some other photography categories? All right, so there's a whole lot of categories in photography that you can do. I do beauty and fashion. You can do portrait work. You can do weddings. You can do stock photography. I know that's pretty much killing it right now. You can do weddings, which I also do, but don't advertise. You can do landscape. You can do events. There's just so many different genres in photography that you can do that'll keep you busy. I think for me, if you kind of focus on the categories that you love, those are ones that you'll probably do the best at versus just trying to be, you know, an all-around photographer on every genre. Those people tend not to have as much fun as people who kind of stick to the genre that they like. So that is some of the other photography categories. So come on, guys, give me some more questions. I'm gonna go ahead and sip my water real quick while I wait on some more questions. So I'm here in Houston, Texas. I'm at my studio, Vision Light Studio. So if you're a photographer and you need a studio to rent out, I do rent my studio out, visionlightstudio.com. You guys see it in my profile all the time. I'm always shooting here, so. Give me some more questions. I know y'all got some more stuff. All right, Lo said, what type of camera did you start with? All right, so it's funny. I started off with a Nikon D3000, I think it was, or D3100. I actually didn't know what the hell I was doing at the time. I just went to Best Buy and I was like, all right, this feels good in my hand, and that's the camera I bought. It was a APS-C camera. It was like 15 megapixels. It took like 3 frames per second. It was really, really cheap camera, but it felt good in my hands when I bought it. So I got it and I used that for like almost a year and a half before I actually upgraded to a new camera. So that's the camera I started with, Lo. And I've pretty much shot with every camera system out, with the exception of Fuji. I don't think I've ever shot with Fuji, but I've shot Nikon, Sony, Canon, Phase 1, Hasselblad. I've shot with all of them. It's just a camera. I'm gonna sip me some more water. If you guys don't get a chance to ask any questions, you can always send me an email, info@steviereed.com, and I'll answer any question that you have that you don't get a chance to answer in live. Love the shirt. Thanks, McKinney. I got it at Walmart today. It's $5. Walmart. Holla at your boy. All right. What motivated you to keep going? Just the love for the art. I loved photography. I was always an artist. Even as a little kid, I couldn't paint worth shit. Couldn't draw worth nothing. I used to copy off this dude named John. He was a fantastic drawer. So I would tell him to like draw something, and then I would like trace it, and I would turn it in, and he didn't care. But I could never, you know, draw pretty good. But once I naturally picked up a camera, that's what made me turn into a photographer. And I've just been motivated by my love of art ever since I picked up a camera, and that's what motivates me to keep going, man. I've come a long way, and it's too late to turn around now. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Prince? Prince, you got some questions for us? I know you got something to ask, Prince. We're going to look at some of my favorite pictures again. Shout out to the Midnight Club. My guys over there at the Midnight Club, John and Lo. This IG Live is sponsored and powered by Midnight Club. This is one of the things that we do. We create content. So if you guys, when this is over, have any questions about the Midnight Club, hit me up. I'll answer them. Until then, you can go to our website and cop some merch. MidnightClubMerch.com. Get you a hat, get you a hoodie, get you a scarf. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself under that corona. And yeah, support your boy. All right, so we got another good question from, let's see, what was that from? Let's see, the other question was, who are your favorite photographers? Oh my God, who are my favorite photographers? All right, so some of my favorite photographers, we got Loretta Houston, we got Dallas Logan, we got Dallas and Day, amazing photographers out of LA. My favorite photographer of all time, Angel Cologne, even though he don't shoot no more. Angel, please pick up a camera again, please. Dana Cole, she's amazing. She's an amazing photographer. Joanne Pantone, amazing photographer. And Robin Lee, I think he's in Korea. Those are some of my favorite photographers of all time. I love their work. I'm very inspired by what they do. A few of those people I have relationships with that I talk to every now and then who give me, pointers and stuff like that. But those are my favorite. Angel Cologne, please pick up a camera again. All right. So Prince wanted to know, when did I take a leap of faith and go full throttle as an entrepreneur? I took a leap of faith when I was getting more and more clients than I could handle and still do a part-time job. I think it's important to kind of pace yourself and don't rush it, because sometimes, we'll have busy seasons and things like that as creatives. For a couple of months we'll be really, really busy, and then for a couple of months we won't have anything. But I think for me, I took the leap of faith when I started to get more consistent work that I like to do. Because I still do portrait work and weddings and things like that when I'm not doing beauty and fashion. But when the beauty and fashion portion of it picked up to where I couldn't handle working, that's when I said, what, I'm just going to go full time because I have, the business to support it. And that's when I went full time. All right, so we're going to take another question from, let me see, One for All. What helps you be more creative in studio? I get bored at times shooting on the regular backdrop. I get bored too, shooting in the studio. What I normally do to try to get inspired is I'm a big proponent of using Pinterest. I will scroll Pinterest for hours and hours at a time, trying to find inspiration for shoots. I'll look at my favorite photographers' work to see, what they're doing, not to copy, just to find inspiration. And then I'll typically get with a creative team and try to plan something, see what they have as far as ideas, and put something together that's a little bit outside of the box. And then we can, make some dope stuff. So that's kind of how I try to stay creative. But I know it's hard in the studio. But you can do it. Pinterest, best friend. All right. Naturally named. All right. Naturally named. What up, though? She said, what are some of the places you traveled because of photography? All right. So I haven't had a lot of traveling, primarily because of my family dynamic. I'm a full-time father. I'm a full-time husband. I'm a full-time business owner. I have several other businesses under my photography umbrella. So a lot of the traveling I don't get to do as much as I like to. But I've been to LA. I've been to New York, which I love New York. I just hate going in the wintertime. I've been to Florida. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to Nevada, Detroit, my hometown. What up, though? So just kind of like the main metropolitan areas I've traveled to for photography. Hopefully, in the next year or so, my plan is to become full-time traveling photographer because my youngest son, he'll be going off to college, so I'll be pretty much empty nesting. So me and the wife, we're going to pack up and we're going to travel and do some shoots. That's what my plan is. All right, so let's see. What are some of the camera lenses you feel are essential? That's a good question, Red Velvet. How you doing, Red Velvet? All right, so some of the camera lenses I feel essential. It depends on what you're shooting. For me, because I shoot primarily beauty and fashion, I love a good macro lens, 90mm, 100mm macro lens. Those are excellent lenses. 24-70, which is pretty much all around good for fashion work and for portrait work. And then I primarily have a 70-200, which I can use for pretty much any genre that I shoot, especially weddings. 70-200 is amazing for weddings. So those are some of the essential lenses that I use. If you're trying to figure out what essential lens you want to use for your photography, you just really need to figure out what photography you want to use, because it will depend on what genre. Like, I don't primarily see landscape photography with 7200. They might have a 14 to 24 lens on the camera because they shoot wide. So it just really depends on your lens. I mean, on your genre. All right. Prince said, "You're so raw, man. You're such an inspiration." Oh, Prince, thank you so much. And can you come back to the studio, Prince, and put some more glitter on my speaker, because it's starting to fade off. I haven't had any more glitter on my speaker because you haven't been here in a while. All right, Midnight Club, they just popped in. That's right, midnightclubmerch.com for all you guys who just came on. Midnight Club is my digital media production, content creation company. And you guys go check them out. Copy your hat, copy your hoodie. I'll get you a mug, put you some coffee in, all that good stuff. Support us, all that good stuff. All right. So we're going to get back to the next question. Lo says, do you prefer in studio or outdoor on location? I kind of like outdoor when it's not as hot in Houston, because sometimes it can get 90, 100 degrees, and shooting outdoors can be such a drag. But I like being outdoors because it's just so beautiful, it's so peaceful. Shooting outside, studio work is something that you can do 24/7. So if I have an opportunity to shoot outside, I will, if it makes sense. All right. Hello from Brazil. Thank you guys for popping on. Let me see. We got any other questions? I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. So I'm just scrolling up a little bit. Nope. I think I got everybody. What up, T Blue? T Blue said, "Do I ever rest?" Yeah. As a matter of fact, last night, so I use this app called Pillow, and I track it with my Apple Watch. Now, I'm not a good sleeper. I do not sleep at all most days. I probably get 2-3 hours of sleep, unfortunately. But last night I slept for 7 hours. So yes, T, I do get rest yesterday. I think that was the only time I got some rest. All right. How often do you hold workshops? All right, let me sip me some more water before I answer this question. All right, so before COVID-19, I try to do workshops once a month. It is a lot of work. So once a month I would do a lighting workshop. I really love teaching the lighting workshops over the retouching workshops. So hopefully once COVID gets away from us and we're all clear, I'm going to do some workshops. But I am doing one-on-one workshops right now. You gotta be COVID-19 free to do a one-on-one workshop. All right, so Skip Texan said, "How is important is networking, and any advice to photographers who are not comfortable talking to others?" So believe it or not, let me change my scene real quick. Believe it or not, I am an introvert. I do not like talking to people. I'm very nervous in front of the camera. I actually need to do a photo shoot, and I'm probably going to cry because I don't like to be in front of the camera. I don't like talking to people I don't know either. However, photography for me is a business, and it is a necessary evil to get in front of people and talk and network and show them who you are. You have to be a little bit more visible. If you want to be successful and make money, you're just going to have to do it. Unfortunately, you have to get over your fear. I've done it, so I know you can, because I am terrified of y'all. Y'all crazy out here. But yeah, as time goes on, you'll get more comfortable talking to people and networking. But you're going to have to do it if you're going to be successful in photography. It's just a necessary evil. All right, is mirrorless better? Oh man, I'm about to make the DSLR people mad. All right, so um, for me, it's better. And the reason why I switched to mirrorless, because I used the DSLR for about 6, 7 years. I even used medium format, and it was just too heavy. And one of the reasons why I love mirrorless is because it's so light, and I can literally have it in my hand all day without worrying about getting cramps and stuff. I mean, I'm getting old, so nobody wants to hold a 7, 8 pound camera in their hand for 5, 6 hours a day, or even longer for full day shoots, and let their wrist be messed up. So I think mirrorless is an amazing technology for it to be light, but that does not mean that the image quality is any better than a DSLR. To me, it's all the same. All right. All right. So Prince said, "When did you know photography was your passion?" All right, Prince. So it was 2012. I was on a family trip with all my family. We went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and of course, I don't like being in front of the camera, so I was the one who actually took everybody's picture, and I really, really enjoyed it, even though my family got on my nerves. I took everybody's picture, and we were driving back home, and I told my wife, I said, if I have any money left by the end of the week from this vacation, then I'm going to go and buy me a camera. And that's when I bought me a camera. And that's when I knew the very first picture that I took with my very first camera, that's when I knew I had a passion for photography. And I just never put it down ever since. I mean, I spent countless hours reading, watching YouTube, following other photographers. It's just in my DNA. Photography is in my DNA. Creating is in my DNA. Whether it's with a camera, a photography camera, a video camera, creating content. I'm just an artist at heart, and photography is that thing that connects me to art. And yeah, that's it. So Lo said, and Albert Rucker said, how did you overcome that fear? You mean the fear of being around people? I overcame it because I saw it as a necessary evil in order for me to be successful. Now, you can be scared of something all you want, but doesn't mean that you're not gonna have to do it. I didn't like being around people naturally, so it was just one of those things I had to do. Like, I'm either going to evolve or I'm going to die. And one of the things about evolution is, it's not going to wait on you. So I knew I'm not anybody special to where people are just going to come to me. So I knew I would have to come to people if I wanted to be successful. And that's kind of how I overcame my fear. And plus, I got a lot of people who kind of, behind me, who push me to make sure, that I kind of get over that fear. That's how I kind of got over it. All right, Prince on the beat. Thank you, sir. What makes a good shoot? Oh, man, that's a good question. It's such a loaded question, too, T. I think what makes a good shoot is when you have the most amount of fun at the end of the day. I think if you go into a shoot and you're comfortable with yourself, you make your crew comfortable, your client is comfortable, you guys are having fun, and you create something amazing, I think that's what makes a good shoot. To me, that's what makes a good shoot for me. Because I've been on some shoots where it wasn't that good. At the end of the day, I was like, ooh, man, I got to find me a job. But it's like that sometimes. All right, so I'm going to take some more questions. But before I do, I want to have you guys go over to midnightclubmerch.com, support the new company. We are a digital media content creation company. I mean, we do podcasts, we do videos, we do photo shoots, we do marketing consulting. But right now, we're just offering merch right now. You can go copy your hoodie, copy your dad hat, copy your jacket, midnightclubmerch.com. Support the movement, man. All right. Who are some of your favorite models you work with so far? Prince, you was so shady for that. All right. So some of my favorite models I work with. Her name is Brooklyn Moore. She's probably one of my favorite models I work with. I have her work everywhere. She's got like a big ass picture in my at my studio. I love Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I love you. But I love everybody though. But she's one of my favorite models to work with, not just because of the modeling, just because of who she is. We kind of know each other outside of photography. I've watched her growth. I've seen her grow. I've seen her kill it. And I just love the progression. And now she's launching other stuff. So she's my favorite model that I work with so far. But I love all my models. I love y'all, okay? Please don't be mad. All right, so another question was, what's the best way to connect with models for shoots? Do you pay them? Yes. So that's a very good question. The best way to connect with a model for a shoot, if she signed to an agency, the best thing to do is reach out to their agency, whether it be male or female. Let them know that you're interested in doing a shoot. If you want to do a collaboration with the agency and the model, let that be known. If not, you may have to pay. Models should be paid. If you have a project and you have a model that you want to work with, pay her or pay him if they're not willing to collaborate. And it's just that simple. Whatever their rate is, don't try to negotiate. Don't say, hey, let me get you a McDonald's coupon and give you half off. No, don't do none of that. Whatever it is that they ask for, you pay them that rate, because there's a reason why you want to shoot with that person, right? So if a person reaches out to me and they want to shoot with me, then I should be hired. Now, it get kind of funny with collaborations, because yes, some of my favorite models, I'll do a collaboration with, and sometimes I'll have to pay, and I'm okay with that, because we are artists. We all need to be paid, especially if it's for a project where money is changing hands. Everybody should get paid. So yes, you do pay your model, all right, and your photographer, and your makeup artist, and your hairstylist, and your fashion stylist, and your retoucher, and your creative director, all that good stuff. Do you concept all your shoots or someone else? That's a very good question, T. So it really depends on the shoot. Some of the concepts are mine. Some of them will be from the makeup artist that I'm working with. Some of them will be from the hairstylist that I'm working with. It just really depends on if the concept makes sense or not. And then whoever concept it is, they're the creative director of it. But I like to take inspiration from my creative team when we putting together a shoot, because I don't want it to just be about me. It's definitely just not about me. And I do take inspiration from models as well. So sometimes it'll be the model's concept, which is some of the dopest stuff out there. Oh my God, this is a very good question. How important is the correct lighting setup on a photo shoot? I love this question. The reason why I love this question is because a lot of people really, really miss lighting. And I want you guys to look at me in the camera. Hold on, let me change my view. Let me change my view real quick. Look at me, look at me. I'm the captain now. Lighting is one of the most important components of photography. Period. Without lighting, you cannot display emotion. You cannot paint a picture without lighting. You cannot see without lighting. Lighting is the fundamental language in art, to me. I don't know if that's technically right, but lighting is very important. It's one of the most important things. That's why I love doing workshops on lighting versus doing workshops on retouching or editing, because people get a camera and they forget about lighting, and then they wonder why they don't get the result that they're supposed to get. So lighting is very important. Learn that lighting. Okay, do you use a light meter? If so, which brand? I don't use a light meter. I have used a light meter in the past. It's definitely personal preference. I've used Sekonic, the Sekonic L458. I think that's the number. It's the gray one. It's the old school gray one. But yeah, I don't use a light meter. I think I need to buy another one though, because I don't know where my light meter is. That's probably why I don't use it. But you can use a light meter. You cannot use a light meter. It's totally up to you. All right. Is it okay to copy other photographers' work out of admiration? That's a good question, T. I think it's good to try and duplicate something that you see because the lighting is interesting, but I don't think photographers should blatantly copy. And big old asterisk, and I think it's always good business to credit that photographer's work that you've been inspired by. There's been plenty of times where I've done a concept that was similar to another photographer, and I've reached out to him and said, "Hey, I've inspired by your work. I tried out the same lighting technique that you did. Here's a copy of it. I just wanted to show you, that I was inspired by your work." Most of the time, you guys won't see it anyway. It's just something that I want to try, but yes, you should definitely try to emulate other people's light, so you can get better, but make sure you give credit to that photographer who you've copied. All right. Leo Rucker, have you ever worked a visual artist to create a background theme, or would you open to? Oh yeah. I've definitely done that before. I love like set design and set building. I haven't done it a lot. I did a shoot here in the summer where I was out spray painting a whole bunch of shit yellow and blue. Y'all was clowning on me, talking junk about me spray painting. But yeah, I love set design, and I wish I get more clients to do it because I would love to. How do you manage working with an insecure subject? That's a very good question. So, excuse me. I think you have to try to make the subject as comfortable as possible before the shoot even starts. I think the more communication that you have with the subject, letting them know what your expectation is, and asking them what their expectation is of you, and then kind of just talking through, what a typical shoot with you is. I think that kind of makes them feel comfortable. Music is pretty much number one in all my shoots. I always listen to music, and I typically let the client or the subject pick the music so they can feel comfortable. And I typically have closed sessions. So if you need to bring someone, so you can feel comfortable, so you can feel relaxed, you definitely can. And I just try to make the environment as fun as possible so they can open up and be the best that they can be when we're shooting. Yeah. Let's see if we got any more questions. I'm loving this, guys. You guys like the live so far? If you guys like the live, give me a thumbs up. Drop me some hearts. Let me know if you guys like it. I think I'm gonna do this more on YouTube, where I get to show some retouching stuff, critique other people's work if that's what you guys want me to do. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in this little rolling ticker right there, youtube.com/StevieDPhotos. And yeah, I'll do a live Q&A because I think Instagram cuts this off after an hour, so we don't have a whole lot of time with this live today. All right, let's go back to some of my favorite picks. What do you use to share a client image? Oh, that's a very good question. So my website is hosted through format.com, and format.com has a proofing gallery built into their website. It's completely free for the business package. And what I typically do is at the end of the shoot, I will upload all my images to that proofing gallery from Capture One, and I can send that client the link, and then they'll be able to view all the images. They won't be able to save it. They won't be able to right click and download. I'll have my watermark on it, and they can actually select the images that they want edited from the shoot. So that's format.com. They have a proofing gallery, and you can check them out. And if you have any more questions, send me an email. I can give you a little bit more detail into the proofing gallery for Format. But it's a lot better than sending people Dropbox link, WeTransfer link. No. Just give them a link, let them log in and view it on their phones or on their web page. It's very intuitive, very simple, very easy, and very streamlined. So format.com is the website. All right. What is your editing process? What's up, Kenneth? That's a very good question. So my editing process, it depends on the image. So if I'm doing beauty work, I know I'm going to spend more time doing beauty editing versus fashion work. With beauty work is basically trying to make sure that you maximize every detail in the work. I do not use frequency separation on the skin for beauty work. I just don't like it. However, when I'm doing a fashion image, frequency separation that mud to death, and garments would be straight as a board. So it really depends on the image, the editing process for me. I don't like editing though. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I hate it. I be crying when it's time to edit. Oh, here's a very good question. Very, very good question. How do you create with a client that doesn't know what they want, but they know they just want to be shot by you? I have that a lot. So I think the best thing you can do is try to get as close to their idea on paper as possible. I'm a firm believer of writing things down. I mean, I got a notebook right here today full of notes. So I think if you write it down, you can visually start to map out what you think that they want, because some people don't know, and you can kind of like add your creative twist, blend to it, and try to make the idea that they have work a little bit better. But it is tough to figure out a concept for a client who don't know what they want. So usually those are the times where I can kind of like flex my wheel a little bit and say, how about we do this instead of that? And they'll usually be down and happy with the final result. I haven't had many clients not be happy with some of the concepts that I've came up with. Yeah. Oh, I love this image. All right, we're gonna give it about 10 more minutes, then we're gonna wrap up. So if you guys got any more questions for me, I would love for you to drop some questions for your boy. Man, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. But y'all know what I'm doing when I leave here? I'm going home. I'm going to find me a vegan place and pig out, because I'm starving. Do you only shoot fashion and beauty? No, I do not only shoot fashion and beauty. I shoot everything. But no, I shoot portraits, I shoot weddings, I do events. But I don't advertise it because that's not the genre of photography that I love the most. So what you guys see on my Instagram is what I love to do the most and what I advertise shooting. It's wedding season coming up pretty soon if we can get past COVID. And I have a partner in Detroit who I do weddings with. And I do have a ball, but I'm not a wedding photographer. So I don't advertise weddings. He's a wedding photographer and he loves doing weddings. I just love helping and I love shooting. So I do them, but I don't advertise them. That makes sense? Yeah. Can you explain your best settings for black and white photo? Oh, this is an amazing question, Sammy. Thanks for your question. So when I'm shooting black and white, I kind of know beforehand that I'm shooting black and white, and I typically shoot tethered 99.9% of the time when I'm shooting in the studio and even on location. Maybe it's a little bit lower on location, depending on location. But I automatically turn my images into black and white as I'm shooting it, and then I can adjust the lighting to make sure I have the right amount of contrast in the lighting, the right amount of shadows, the right amount of highlights. I do that in the beginning stages so I don't rely so much on post-processing for black and white. I know a lot of times people just shoot a picture, I'm gonna make it black and white. I don't shoot like that. If I'm shooting black and white, I'm shooting black and white specifically for that purpose and not shooting in color and turning it to black and white. That makes sense. All right. How do you handle a client who wants something that you know won't work or is a bad idea? Oh, that's a good question too. I think that you're going to run into that at some point, and it's okay. But the client is right. They're paying their money. So sometimes they want to do A and A doesn't make sense, and you want to do B, they're paying you. You got to do A. It's just part of the business. And if they don't like it at the end, and I've tried to convince you and I've tried to show you why B would make more sense, you still want to go with A, it's nothing you can do at that point. And it happens, but unfortunately it's just part of the game. And I think if you provide the best of your ability as a creative, I think they'll be happy. You may not be happy because you don't like it, but they're paying, so what can you do? Okay, so how you decide what to post on IG? Oh man, that's a good question. That's a very good question. I know some people post every day. They post everything. I don't do that. Me personally, I only like to post the work that I like. It's that simple. It's my Instagram, so I'm gonna post stuff that I like. I know that's kind of flat, but I post what I like. And if you don't like it, then sorry. It is what it is. All right, and while we got you guys here, I want to thank you guys for checking out my Instagram, which was Powered by Midnight Club. We are a digital media content creation company. There's 3 of us, me, John, and Lo, from Detroit all the way into Houston. Go copy your hoodie, copy your t-shirt, get you a mug, get you a COVID-19 scarf. Be safe out here. MidnightClubMerch.com. We even got gray jogging pants for the ladies. I know y'all like them gray jogging pants. Okay, all right. We're going to take a few more questions, and then we're going to pop off. How do you know how much to charge for your work? Oh my God, this is a great question. I love actually answering this question. So I don't think we truly understand how much it costs to produce work. So for me, I have a studio, I have insurance, I have Dropbox, which is like $100 a year. We transfer $100 a year. A hard drive, backup, camera, lens, lighting equipment. I mean, there's so many different things that goes into producing an image. You just have to consider all those costs into your image. And then you have to charge yourself for you. Like, you have to get paid as well as an artist. So it's tough to price. Is one of the things that we all struggle with, but you definitely want to charge your time. You want to charge for the things that you need for your shoot. If you have to rent a lens, that's an additional cost. It's such a big question, and we can probably talk about pricing for another hour. So what I want you to do is I want you to send me an email, and we're gonna talk about that further, because there's so many things we have to consider when we're talking about charging for our work. Okay, Kim Nelson, I run into a problem with posting. Sometimes I'm consistent with posting photos, and then I stop posting for a while. How can I stay more consistent without posting photos from the same shoot? So that's a good question, Kim. So if you shoot a lot, you really have the advantage of filtering and monitoring what you post. Me personally, I don't have a post schedule per se. Like, if I don't post next week, I'm not going to feel bad, because I'm only going to put out my best work anyway. And I feel like if you put out your best work, people are still going to be drawn to your work versus a posting schedule. You know what I'm saying? I think more people will fall off if you just post every day just to be consistent. I think the work itself needs to be consistent, but I don't think the posting schedule needs to be consistent if you're not shooting as much. Now, if you're shooting, 2, 3, 4 times a week, and you can post, 2, 3 times a week, then perfect. But if not, just focus on making the content that you put out consistent as possible. So who are some of the photographers I admire? I talked about this earlier, and I love Loretta Houston. I love Dallas and Day, amazing photographers. My favorite photographer of all time, Angel Cologne. I love Robin Lee, Joanne Pantone, Dana Cole. those are some of the photographers I admire. I love their work, and I tend to look for them for inspiration. And yeah, those are my favorites. Those are my favorites. Angel Clone, if you're watching, can you please pick up a camera again? I miss you, man. I want to see some more shoots. All right, so we are going to wrap this up. I appreciate all you guys for stopping by, checking out the live. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, give me a thumbs up. If you have any other questions that we didn't get a chance to talk about in the live, send me an email, info@steviereed.com. I'll try my best to answer as many questions as I can, as fast as I can. And yeah, man, thank you guys so much for joining. It was fun. We'll do this again. Shout out to the Midnight Club, midnightclubmerch.com. Love you guys. Thank you. I'll catch you guys on the next one.